Hello everybody, Teknoaxe here, welcome back to Automation, the car company tycoon game. This is episode number 80, and we are trudging right along in the Vector Automotive Challenge. That includes moving on beyond our 2006 model year. We are going to go just 2 years ahead, and not do a total redesign of our lineup like we did last time, but we are just going to add in a new model, because I feel as though our 2006 models are still relevant enough in 2008. But with the economy still kind of on the rocks, and there's still a different need for automobiles out there than there is in, say, 2015, I think what we need to do for this year, and what's going to be the best for Vector Automotive, is something that makes me cringe inside. And that is build a sports utility vehicle. I hate sports utility vehicles so much. They have zero interest to me whatsoever, but sometimes you just gotta do what's right for your company, you know? It's gonna get us the sales, it's gonna boost our brand image. But maybe, just maybe, Vector Automotive can take this and make it into something that's actually interesting. Hey, how about we actually throw some sport into our sports utility vehicle? Yeah, we'll try it. We'll see how it goes. I was in much debate. Should I build a pickup? Should I build a sport utility vehicle? Because there are some pickup trucks out there that I do actually kind of like and enjoy. We don't have enough truck bodies, though, in the game to pull that off. In fact, we only have one truck body, and it's from the 80s. It's very hard to pull off a convincing 2008... I need to change that, by the way. 2008 pickup truck with this body. Just not gonna happen. But if we look, 2008, the SUV body from 2008 is actually very convincing and very well modeled. It kind of has the perfect late 2000s SUV shape. And well, let's see what I can do with the body first. Alright. I tried. I really did. I tried to make it look sporty, but yeah. That big slab front, not the easiest thing to pull off a sporty look. I think it's somewhere in the middle. It's a little bit conservative and a little bit sporty looking. The back is kind of modern Durango looking, but I really like the looks of the modern Durango, so I'm okay with that. I tilted the roof way back and tried to sport it up as much as I could. Looks a little goofy right now without the wheels on it. Hopefully that will improve. And just look at the chassis stuff. I did end up going with the ladder because of its, you know, realism, if you will. If we want this to be a high capacity as far as like towing and, you know, overall weight capacity, stuff like that goes, a ladder frame is the way to go. Took a lot of flack when I built the truck back when this bench came out because I made it monocoque, because monocoque is basically better in most every way, but it's not better in ways that aren't necessarily modeled in automation, at least not as of yet. So we'll see how this plays out. We're kind of, I mean, this is all a fictional kind of storyline we're playing with here, so it's just another challenge. I'll have to, you know, cross the hurdle. So, you know, it's just another hurdle I'll have to jump over as far as building this vehicle goes. The name is the Mobius, And the Mobius is a large vehicle sounding name, so I like it. And it does have some ties to geometry like all of the names of these vehicles have had. But first, let us actually just build the base model. It's going to be a rather quick process. I don't want to bore you guys with the basic entry details too much, but we do need a baseline to start with. So we of course have our normal selection of engines. We have all of these fan entry engines in here too, but I do remember which ones are indeed mine. And I think what I want to try and do is pull off using the turbo engine, the Turbo 4. And I would like to just choose it in the base model and see how it goes. I may end up not choosing it, we'll see. So you'll remember that this engine had 320 horsepower and 263 foot-pounds of torque. Sounds like it should be plenty to get this vehicle moving. I don't know how much it's going to weigh though. I've never built an SUV before. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out together. Manual gearbox is what this engine likes. Unfortunately, for the case of a vehicle this large, and for the audience that would be buying this vehicle, they're not going to want a manual. So automatic is what we will use. We'll throw as many ratios in it as we can. Top speed, very low, but hopefully that will improve because I got tons of grill opening on this thing. For the base model, I don't think we need anything too crazy as far as differentials go. We don't need any crazy off-road. So I think viscous would probably be okay. Geared is bad. Electric is really good for off-road. I'll remember that for the future. It's super expensive. Holy cow, that's expensive. Manual locker is really good for off-road, but basically nothing else. It's just like an open, really. So let's just go for an open to start. And I'll do medium compounds. 17s or 18s on there. Yeah, that looks right. Continuing on. No, I'm kidding. Big, I think 265 in the front. So we'll do 265, 265s. But we need more tire. Much more tire. How big is that? 45. We can go bigger than that. Can we? 50? Yeah, that looks better. And let's see. How was about the big 5 spokes or the? Yeah, I think the rally spokes are probably the best combination. Looks like we need some offset in the back. And since it is a rear-wheel drive version, we'll probably give it a little stagger too. We don't want any handling faults in this. We don't want to build a Ford Explorer. We don't want people rolling over. So, yeah, definitely gonna be taking some time to be looking at the handling. How does that look? Looks good. And that definitely improves the look of the vehicle. Brakes, we're gonna need a little bit more than I'm used to putting on there. So we'll go with 3 pistons to begin with on vented discs. And we'll make them quite large because this is quite a large vehicle. Again, I don't know how much it weighs just yet. I think I'll leave these towards the comfort side of things. And at least 2 pistons in the back as well. It's still got a lot of weight back there, so we'll leave those discs pretty large too. And yeah, that'll be good. Let us make it fully clad because we want to keep some economy in this thing, and it is still 2008. Fuel prices are still super high, and people are indeed concerned with miles per gallon and, you know, being able to afford this kind of vehicle. Sport utility vehicles were kind of bad words in this era, to be honest. So we wanna convince people that really loved their SUVs that they can still afford to drive them. So that is our main goal. Much less cooling, much less. There we go. That should be good. And wow, you can do 8 passengers in this thing. 4, 5, or 8. For the base model, let's keep it a 2-row, if you will. And didn't really thought about this. I would say standard. Yeah, let's try and keep the price somewhere in the realm of acceptability. ABS, power steering. Let's do stability control too, because like I said, I'm worried about, you know, big vehicles like this being driven by normal people. Standard safety for this guy should be alright. I have no idea what to do here either. This would give us more comfort, so let's do it. That would give us more comfort, so let's do it. Yeah, I don't think those are completely necessary. We're gonna say comfort rating for now. I'll probably have to tune this, we'll see. And oh, it's not nearly as heavy as I kind of expected. Probably due somewhat to the chassis materials I chose. If we go back to model. Go back to model, please. And yeah, I chose AHS steel to try and strengthen up the chassis. That is a little bit heavy, but you know, I used the polymer body, so that kind of equals it out. And that engine itself is actually pretty light as well, so I guess that can have some bearing on it. Has tons of drivability right off the bat, 61.9, sportiness 17.4. Comfort is pretty good, prestige is pretty good, safety is awesome. 12.7, that's kind of in the ballpark of what I expected. 25.2, that's okay. And that's, you know, kind of mixed average. I think that would be acceptable. How slow is it? How slow is it? Oh, 6.70 to 60. That's not bad at all. Less than 15.25 mile. How's the handling? Handling is good. It's very understeery, but in a good way. So I think that's acceptable. Look like the gearing maybe, yeah, gearing needs some work. So that will reduce our 0 to 60, but will increase the top speed and probably increase the economy. Yeah, it's up to 29 now. 29. That's not bad at all. And just having the automatic gearbox in general is going to lower that sportiness, so for a base model, I think that's alright. I will live with that. And let's see, wheel spin is very high. Wheel spin is very high. Well, I mean, it's 35%, so it's not obnoxious, but it's still pretty high. Viscous would cost about double, and would only reduce it down to 31. Decisions. It's a nice sportiness increase and a little bit of drivability. So I think I'm gonna do it. I think we'll do that. Okay, so yeah, there's our base model. That was pretty easy, pretty painless. Not as bad as I expected. And I think it's competitive. I don't really know too much about this market, so I'm gonna let you guys tell me how competitive or good you think this is. But let's make some other trims. How about we make ourselves a high occupant version? So this one's gonna be, you know, the 8-passenger. It's probably gonna need a little bit more power. It's going to get a little bit worse mileage, but will be, you know, the big family hauler. And big geometry, let's call it the obtuse. That should only offend most of the buyers. And let's see what I should change for this trim. I'm considering making it so the obtuse version comes with a different engine. And I'm thinking probably the regular V8. I want to compare just how much that kind of changes things. Oh, not that one. Yes, this one. No, not the 5LTT, the 5LNA. There we go. That's the one I want. So that gives us a power bump up to 488. It did lower the drivability some because we got a lot more power, but the prestige is up, and it will probably better. I mean, I haven't added the seat yet, and thing only weighs 3,900 pounds. Our mileage is down to 14.7, so we're gonna have a lot of work to do here. But yeah, let's go to 8-passenger, and I would say the 8-passenger, the obtuse, probably has a premium interior. And, you know, Soccer Mom's gonna be real worried about her safety, so we'll go with advanced. advanced safety, and we will put traction control on there as well. So this is going to be significantly heavier, significantly more expensive, but it has all of the features that the family hauler might need. Okay, so now it weighs 4,500 pounds. So yeah, that 488 horsepower and the torque increase definitely necessary. Gearing wise, probably need to make some changes here. There we go. And it's still ballpark the same kind of speed as the base model, except you can do a whole lot more with it as far as carrying stuff around. Suspension wise, it looks like everything is fairly okay here. Is there any other upgrades we could give it? Yeah, not really. I did a little tweaking and didn't necessarily find anything overly interesting in here. I mean, we could increase the sportiness, but what does that do for us, really? Nothing in this market. So I think this is all okay. I want to make sure I have enough cooling airflow, because I fear I do not, and I did not. Okay, so there we go. That increases that. And 15.2 miles per gallon. Yeah, that sounds about right. I would like that to be higher, though. That low of a number kind of scares me. But this is for a different buyer, and this is probably lower production than the base model, so yeah, we're just trying to steal Chevy's buyers for Tahoes, basically, at this point. Tahoes and Suburbans. Does it need any more brake now that it has all this weight? You know what? It actually kind of did, and we got the drivability up to 70 now. That's very awesome, and the comfort's up to 42.5. These all sound like things that the family hauler is going to need. Last thing, I did not. Okay, so I'm going to say, yeah, we'll at least give this one sat nav, and there we go. There's even more comfort, up to 47. That was most important to me. Alright, so there's the obtuse, but now let's do something a little bit more fun, something more up my alley. And how about we make a sport off-road version? So I'm going to copy the obtuse, and we're going to say this is the S. Oh, not the significant other. It's the sport off-road. First thing I need to do, all-wheel drive, definitely. And then, should I do any suspension changes? Let me look. Oh, I can't. I forgot. Continuing on, though. Engine changes. What do we have? Other versions? We have the low-pressure turbo version of this, I believe. Somewhere in here. I thought. Maybe. I guess I haven't. Alright, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't remember which one of these are mine and which ones aren't anymore. So let's just make a new variant based off the 5LNA. Where did you go? Engine 1. And we're going to say this is the high output NA, which I swear I've already made one of these, but that's okay. We can do it again in rather a hurry, too. I don't see this taking too terribly long. We are going to increase the displacement basically up to its maximum. So 5.9 liters, and it didn't really cause any major issues with anything. Let's actually... Does it need necessarily all of this top end anymore? As long as it's a nice straight power curve, I'm okay with it, I think. Let's try and get a nice flat torque curve and increase the bottom end power all around. That would be good. Alright, that all looks fine. And our fuel octane's 87.5. I think this one runs on 90. Yes. Let's keep that, but let's increase our compression to actually use all 90. Oh, did I go too high? Nope, not yet. There's too high. Okay. And it looks like we're having some flow issues. The tubular headers are probably restrictive. So we'll go with long tubulars. And the exhaust is probably a little restrictive. There we go. So now it's a 587 horsepower, 443 foot-pounds of torque monster. Alright, I'm happy with that. So now we're going to do things a little bit different here. How about... Let's see... I kind of want this to compete with your Range Rovers, somewhat your Jeeps, something that is high horsepower, so it's still, you know, fast, but something that you can actually use off-road. Looks like automatic's probably still the way to go, I think. Maybe. Sequential? Maybe. I don't think I've ever heard of an off-road vehicle having a sequential, though. So let's go stick with the automatic, but let's space it so that the gears are pretty short in the low range. Yeah, I'm kind of working fictionally here now because it's not going to tell me this kind of information. But let's put the electric LSD in there for the off-roadness, and gonna increase this obviously. Where's it going to be happiest? Probably somewhere down here. Alright, there looks like to be our happy spot for wheel spin, which is what I was looking at. That's a tough decision. To go for chunky off-road or to go for sports. I wish there was something in the middle. Chunky off-road's probably going to make this thing handle terribly. Actually, it didn't hurt the sportiness very much at all. And wheel spin didn't go crazy up. So yeah, that is kind of in the middle. We can still use this thing to get to 60 in 5.1 seconds, but it's actually got some off-road ability now. Definitely reduced, you know, how fast it could go in the turns, but that's really not important here. We're going to put a little bit more tire under the thing. Okay, and brakes probably need to be improved. It's got a lot more weight, it's got a lot more power. So yeah, we can go 6 pistons maybe? It's not totally necessary. 4 pistons seem to be doing pretty well. But in the back we probably need to increase as well. That it didn't do too terribly much. So the backs are doing okay. That's the most brakes we can put under there. I still need to... Packbat made a nice comment about how to read this and properly read it. I need to go back and read that because I'm still pretty much clueless. But I look at the numbers. If the numbers are happy, then I'm happy. If I can get the braking distance down, then I'm probably doing things right. Let's actually make the pads a little sportier as well. Give you that pedal feel like you've really got something, you know, below your foot. And yeah, I think that's good. In here, we need a little bit more airflow. Let's actually get a little extra so we can handle the off-roadness even better. Who cares about miles per gallon? Not me. And in here, we'll definitely give it the luxury sat nav now. Or do we? No, I think just the premium was fine for that too. But we're gonna shed a little bit of weight and get rid of the side airbags and everything like that. So that'll lower the weight down to 4,600, which makes everything better pretty much. And let's shed a little weight inside as well and go for a sport interior. Suspension-wise, off-road would be tempting. And it actually didn't hurt too much of anything, but it probably did increase, the off-road is up to 34.7. I'll have to take a look at what it was on the base model. That would be an interesting thing to look at. Oh, here we go. There's something I have never used before. These hydropneumatic shocks, or springs, sorry. And they will give us an off-road increase and pretty much everything else. Look at the cost. Oh my god, it's expensive. Yeah, so what? It's a limited production, you know, kind of a Halo sport utility vehicle, if you will. Halo sport utility vehicle, if you will. Alrighty then, so with a incredible drivability still, we have a lot of off-road, which I think is only shown here, 38.1. Our miles per gallon is 12.7, so so much for keeping our average economy pretty good. Whoops. I think the base model makes up for it, though. You know, considering how few of these we're going to sell versus the regular ones. 4.90 to 60. That would be a haul in the mail in a 4,700 pound vehicle. I do believe so. And you know what? Just for funsies, I'm going to run it around the airfield track real quick. And with a time of 1 minute and 33 seconds, that puts it in the category of, let's see, 1 minute 33, a Volkswagen Golf Mark IV R32, and let's see, anything else kind of in this area, GTI, an Audi RS6, yeah, let's see, is there anything interesting that it is faster than? Let's see, I'm looking for something interesting. It is faster than a Fiat 500, the smallest car. Alright then, so I think that's all we need to know from that, and I think that's all we need to do as far as trims on this. It was a learning experience. I feel like I know a little bit more about building sport utility vehicles now. Let me know how you think I did, and let me know, we're going to build one more vehicle. Why does that say 2006 again? Anyway. We're going to build one more vehicle when it comes to the 2008 model year. Let me know if you think we should build a Sport GT car. You may be confusing that with a Vextron, but that is what I consider to be a pony car. So should we build a Corvette slash Viper slash, you know, Aston Martin Ferrari-ish kind of front-engined sports car? Or should we go exotic? We built that concept car a few years back. Should we build ourselves a mid-engined exotic to go try and fight the Europeans? Let me know what you want to see, and that is what we will do next time. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you then.